Good morning to two of
Yeah.
my favorite people.
Good morning. That's so nice.
Ladies.
Happy
Ooh,
Friday.
happy
I I
Friday.
know Friday of Big Rock week too. It's been a week.
I know
Mhm.
it has. I know so much has been going on around here this week. It's really, yeah, and it's been a crazy week in real estate too. Sidebar, Christina. It's just like, I feel like
That's
everything's just like,
awesome.
what? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is great. It is great. And it's also like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
deep breath
Yeah.
on a Friday.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
just got to get after it, ladies.
that's
Like,
exactly right. You got to make
Absolutely.
hay while the sun shines.
And
that's right.
we do understand that we're talking about being busy to someone who owns two very exciting businesses.
Yeah, no kidding.
So we're really excited to talk about your newest venture today and just focus
Yeah.
in on all of the cool stuff that you're doing with Regatta.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. So, guys, if you perhaps have been living under a rock and you don't know Christina, Christina and her husband Richie are the owners of Beaufort Linen, which is a very beloved establishment right there on the waterfront in downtown Beaufort. They've got just the best lines and items. Christina has an incredible eye. She's a wonderful interior designer, all the things. And she is going to tell us today about Regatta, which is a new business venture that she's launching. So we're really happy that you're with us this morning, Christina. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies. I so appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah. It's funny, Regatta actually started as a brick and mortar
Right.
last year. And it was what we equated to Beaufort Linen's kind of cooler younger sister.
I love that.
And a different price point. It was, for me, I think as a creative, you always have to keep your interest peaked. And it was a evolution of my style and also as a business person, market share.
Yeah.
And, it's a different price point of Beaufort Linen, and it taught us so much as a brick and mortar. And what we realized was after about a year doing it, that we would fill that store up with furniture, and every single weekend it was a yoga studio. I mean, and now it literally is, which is kind of hilarious.
Wait.
But it was literally like, oh my gosh, we got to go to the warehouse, fill this place back up. And it was just that back and forth of like ebb and flow of furniture coming in and out. And so what we also learned is like core competencies, and running two retail stores at the same time and staffing was a bear and not enjoyable. It was getting to the point where it was like, okay, what do we love to do versus what is working for us? And so we got our heads together with some other creative folks, and we were like, turnkey furnishings. Like there's nobody doing
Oh my God,
it.
there's
You know
such
what
a
I
huge
mean?
market
Like,
for that. Absolutely.
yeah, there's like, it just doesn't exist. And, we also have rentals. And so I think for us, even being in the industry, I was finding like it was hard to get stuff quickly. If someone broke a lamp or someone, broke a chair, it was like, okay, we got to get this replaced for the weekend. It needs to look good, be a good, fix or whatever. And so we came up with this idea for Regatta, which is turnkey furnishings, is what the whole concept is at the end of the day.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
We were about to ask some
I bet
questions.
we really were, because what I want to know is, so who's your ideal client, right? So is it somebody who's buying a new place at the beach, or somebody who wants to just start over, scrap it, and
Yeah,
all new, all fresh?
it's both. So what we've learned is that it's folks who just don't have the capacity for lots of decision making, and that can come in lots of forms. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, they don't want to be inundated with the thought of it. They don't want to worry about it. They're like, I want my house done, and this is what we want it done like, because we've got the whole style quiz, which we'll talk about. And then a lot of our market has been rentals. Folks who
okay.
Yeah, so that's been a huge market so far, as people that are buying the property for use 100% as rental, and they might use it for a couple weeks out of the summer or something, but they just need it done so that they can start renting it out.
So basically, Christina, if I understand what you're saying correctly, what you end up with is something that you figure out what the style is, what the basic theme is going to be. It's not really a theme, but the vibe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
I should say.
Yeah.
You figure out what the vibe is going to be, and then it feels cohesive and pulled together, and you're not agonizing over every lamp and every table and all those things, right? You guys come in and figure out how to make it feel really good when you walk in, so that it's pulled together and it's done.
And they don't have to touch a thing. That's the thing at the end of the day that I think is so key, is you do it from start to finish, and they can walk into their home, their rental, whatever their space is, and it's done.
Yeah. And it's
That's
like the
amazing.
nitty gritty stuff, you know, the things that you don't even think about until you're in that rental market, or until you have children, or you have wet bathing suits and sunscreen. It's like mattress protectors,
Right.
hangers in the closets. We can do cutlery. We can do, I mean, like these little tiny details that you're like, oh man, I didn't even think about all that.
Right.
It's like, boom, done, ready. Everything's washable. Everything's very, very easy to take care of. It's just, you know, we've been doing Beaufort Linen over 10 years now. And so we're trying to really just melt down all the things we've learned. And then being, you know, having rentals too as ourselves, and having kids and, you know, dogs and all the things, we're like, how can we melt this down into something that is needed in our area?
Love. Now, Chrissy, if someone is watching right now or sees this and is interested in learning more, kind of what does the process look like from when they reach out to you guys saying like, hey, I have a space that I need furnished, to the final product?
So we try to keep it as just monkey simple as you can. You go to our website, you're interested, you fill out the general client inquiry. That triggers someone from the team to reach out and set up whatever is the easiest, a call, in person, whatever the case. And then once we've vetted that this is a good fit, and they, you know, both sides, there is the style quiz.
I love that.
And it's the most fun thing. It's this giant quiz that the client gets to fill out, and gives you the nitty gritty, the what's the function of the property? Where is the property? How do you get in? You know, the boring stuff. But then there's the things that you have to know, like, do you have allergies? Do you hate a certain color? Is there something that you just, so like, we want to know if there's something that you're so adamant against that we don't include that.
Yeah.
And then the fun part is this whole entire quiz of photos of actual items, whether it be custom or vendor items that we have either in our warehouse or is ordered per client. And you go through and you pick these answers, and they're weighted. And so they all go into a quiz at the end, like the results, and our team reviews all of it. And we call them, there's certain in-house names that each thing is called, like organics or coastal chic, or, you know, whatever the case may be, traditional. And we know based on these results what the client is looking for, essentially. And it takes out all that upfront meeting and you know, what usually takes a lot of time with a design client, because a lot of times there is a tight turnaround. This is a convenience business, right? And it's usually out of necessity because they're trying to rent out the property. And it takes all that out, and it allows us to just gather information quickly and put it into a concise format so that we can get to work.
And from the client perspective too, it saves them time as well, because they can at their convenience, fill out the quiz at their own pace.
And they're they're not getting 100 one-off questions.
Yeah. I love that.
So they complete that, it comes back to you. And then from that point, Christina, how long does it take for them to have furniture in their house?
So we aim for 6 to 8 weeks.
Nice.
That's great.
Tops. Now we do have an expedition fee that can be paid, and we can do 2 to 4 weeks. It sounds so scary out loud when we say it, because we're like,
that's really quick. Okay, but it can be done. Mountains can
it can. That's been something that we've worked really hard on the logistics side, and supply chain side, is really utilizing warehousing to make this work for people, because it is definitely time is of the essence when you're in the rental market.
Sure.
So
no kidding. Okay, so now that we have Regatta kind of in our minds, let's go back and for just a minute and reframe Beaufort Linen. So we know, of course, that you got the retail side of Beaufort Linen, but then the design side of Beaufort Linen, right? So you've got Regatta, which would be like a soup to nuts, you know, an immediate solution where you come in, everything's curated, it's cohesive, you can do it quickly, and there's not a whole lot of individual decision making. And then Beaufort Linen, coming to you for design there, would be more of the, you know, I really want the custom everything, and it's okay if it takes time because I want each piece to have my stamp on it and to be something that I selected. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, the two businesses have actually ended up feeding one another in a lot of ways. For instance, we just finished a house over on the beach, and the client was lovely, and we did everything, and she was like, I love this so much, but I really want custom window treatments and some accessorizing. And so at that point, it bumps back over to Beaufort Linen, and that team takes care of that. So that is an option. Let's say that you get everything really cool. And it's the basics and it looks great, but then you're like, I'm not going to rent this house out anymore. I'd like to live here. So, you know, they kind of feed one another. They don't have to, but that is an option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I found in a lot of the clients we're working with, is that the two businesses can work in tandem, but they don't have to, you know.
That's so
Beaufort Linen definitely is custom. It is that sit down, get to know the client top to bottom, get to know their personality, how they live, all those things. And then it's the fun, like each space is so different. Regatta is, each space is different, but it's like, I get to be fully creative. There is no bridling. You don't get to change it. That's one thing I really want to make sure of. It's not for everyone, because some people want that super custom, super different, like they want to have an input on every single detail. Regatta is not that. You are getting, but you're getting the most creative version of our team, because there is no stopping any of our decisions. It's like we know what'll look amazing together, and we get to make sure that none of those little details are deleted through the process. It's all perfectly cohesive. So
and the vibe, I love following Regatta on Instagram and Beaufort Linen, of course, but seeing y'all's kind of behind the scenes photos, I keep saying packages, but what you guys offer in terms of the vibe for each, like coastal chic, what you were saying earlier with the different themes, they're so good. They look custom.
They do look custom. And you know what I was just struck by? I was thinking about, like, you know, when you go to a regular restaurant and, you know, you're having this experience and you get to kind of discuss, this is what I want, but I like it without this or with this. But then you go to like a chef's tasting menu. You know what I mean? Which is so fun, because you're like,
but don't touch it.
Right. Exactly. And like, you know, sorry, it is what it is. But I feel like that's when you discover things where, like, I did not know I was going to love that.
Yes.
And I do.
That's just it. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, is you're getting all this experience that we've had for a decade, and then folks on our team even way longer than that, who, you know, you get it all melted down, and we're all excited because you really are creative. We get to be creative.
That's really
cool. And that's, at the end of the day, like the most fun part of being a business owner and being in this industry, is just being able to be creative and individual on each project, but also like, we care so much, you know what I mean? And when we step away, trust me, we want it perfect. That's the thing. And so not being bridled in any way is how I look at that creative process. But I also want to make sure, like, people know you can't change it. Like, it's not one of these things where you can be like, I don't like that lamp or this pillow. It's like, okay, I'm cool with this. This looks great. So
the chef's tasting menu.
It is.
It's the chef's tasting. I love that.
It is.
That's a great way to put it.
So I love that.
So Christina, before we wrap up and let you go, the one thing I really wanted to ask you about is, can you please tell us about Baker's new business that he has launched? Just give us the really quick. I know y'all. This is
I wish I could turn the camera. It is right here. Lily's right here too. She's always right by me.
Of course she is.
But Baker had this idea. Every summer he's raised money with a lemonade stand, and then in the winter he'll do a cocoa stand. And he started, what did he call it? Toys for little girls and boys who don't have toys. Oh my God, that's so cute. I was like, that's a mouthful, Bake, but cool. And so this summer he has come up with the candy wagon, and it is going to be on Front Street. And rain permitting, it will be inside of Beaufort Linen if it needs to be. But he is selling candy and dog treats.
Oh my God.
So cute.
He's a precious little human. He's already partnered with the Carteret County Humane Society. They're going to do an adoption drive. It's all his idea. It's just, I'm so happy to see him use his little brain. And you know, we had a tough year with him, which I won't even go into, but we're so blessed that he is, you know, with just the little boy that he is. And I got to plug him. Y'all got to come see him.
Absolutely. I know.
What is the name of it? Because I've heard it's a very cute name.
It's the Candy Wagon, and the logo is a puppy with a lollipop in its mouth.
I can't. This is so cute.
Does it say like Bake's Candy Wagon or something, or like?
No, that's how it started. We've already had a rebrand because
I love that.
He was like, I feel bad, my brother's not in on this too.
Oh my gosh.
So he has the Candy Wagon by Baker and Sykes. So that was,
Oh
we
my
already
God,
had a
that's so
rebrand. We're
cute.
not even launched yet.
And Christina,
So
how old is Baker?
he'll be 7 next month.
Okay,
my
so he's 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so no big deal,
So
guys.
he's
No,
6.
no big deal. Perfect.
Just a 6-year-old
Amazing.
entrepreneur.
That's exactly right. Oh
That's
my gosh.
awesome.
Okay, well, we love this so much. So, Christina, as we're wrapping up, we want to know what is saving your life right now.
Oh man, it's pretty random, I'm not gonna lie.
I love
But
it.
Pita Plate has this protein bowl that I'm like obsessed with. Have y'all had it?
No.
Okay, well, if you have
I
it,
love Pita
like,
Plate, though.
and it's
Me
not, but
too.
it's not always on the menu. That's the thing. It's like you can go and you're like mouth set and it's not there. So I've started trying to recreate it down to like a really like creepy level. Like I'm like so trying to make it exactly the same.
We want to know
But
what's
I've
in it.
like gotten to where I just make bowls now. Like it's my favorite after working and coming home. I can like the boys help me and
Throw it all
Richie
in.
loves it. And it's like my new kind of thing. It's
I
making
love
bowls.
that. Okay, bowls. Well, just
And
basically
cold
you have all
pressed
the ingredients
juices.
and you just everybody can customize theirs and throw them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my new thing. That's making me so happy.
I love that. Now, Christina, is it when it's offered at Pita Plate, is it just called the protein bowl?
It's always on the little menu board. Have y'all ever eaten there? It's like
Oh,
on that little
yeah.
chalkboard.
Oh,
And it's like,
good. Yeah.
I think it's like protein power bowl or something like that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll keep our eyes peeled.
I'll be calling them.
I mean,
Thank
it's such
you.
a simple thing, but it's delightful. So
I love it. And they have the best little sauces. They have like the tzatziki and they have that pink
Mm.
sauce.
everything is so
Delicious.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Pita Plate.
I love
Didn't know
that.
I was
Pita
gonna
Plate,
say that
shout
that was the
out.
thing saving my life, but it is.
Oh my gosh.
saving
Well, that's great to
my
know. That's great to know. I'm
Yeah.
going there this afternoon then. So it's settled.
I know. That's exactly right.
Christina, thank you so much. We're gonna
Thank
put
you.
all of the Regatta website and Instagram and everything in the comments so people can easily hop over and learn more about this new venture. But we're just so excited for you and think this is so needed here. And
Yeah.
anything you touch turns to gold. So we're really excited to keep cheering you on through it.
Absolutely, Christina.
Yeah,
Thanks
you.
for joining us. Have a great weekend.
You too, y'all. See ya.
Bye. Okay, well, I just want you to know that what's saving my life is the fact that I just remembered my Pita Plate story, which is, you guys, okay, it was dark at night. I'm driving Sally down Country Club Road and her friend Ella is in the back seat and we run over something. But I'm on the phone with Pita Plate trying to place a takeout
how does
order.
it have to do
Like
with
I'm on the
Pita
phone with Pita Plate and so I start screaming into the ear because I hit something with my car, right?
An animal.
An animal.
Okay.
So as it turns out, anyway, the lady is so sweet. She was like, oh my gosh. I mean, like, you know, just totally lost my mind. I called Chip immediately. Chip was like, well, you have to go back and see. What if it was a cat? What if it's suffering? What if it's,
oh my gosh.
So it's dark at night and I put my big girl pants on and I turn around and go back. The cat or whatever it was is nowhere to be found. Hopefully I just nicked it.
Yes.
And I will say, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I promise. I mean, it just ran right in front of me.
They have minds of their own.
Right. Okay. But it just, I was so traumatized. And when I got to Pita Plate to pick up my, my dinner, she was like, she handed me a little glass of wine in a styrofoam cup. And she was like, she was like, here you go, honey. She was like, I don't know what's going to happen to you. I was like,
if that is not customer service, I don't know what.
She was like, no, obviously you can't drink this now or in the car. Right. You need to take it. And I was like, yes, ma'am. I live right around the corner and I will take it.
That is so cute. And makes me love that place even more.
I know.
That's hysterical.
I know. So the cat survived as best we all know.
Yes, it did.
And I got I got loved on by the people at Pita Plate.
That is so good. That has made my day.
Okay. What's saving your life right now?
I don't have a story as good as that one. But I just think in general, Big Rock Week is such a fun time here.
No, it is.
And I think we talked about it last week too. The thing that I've really noticed this year is how, you know, how much it brings to the businesses here in town, the restaurants. Yes, it's busy, but when you reframe, you know, as someone who lives here, when you reframe it as this is so great for our economy, people are also happy to be here and support
no doubt
this essentially this nonprofit that we have that has broken records this year, and we're just so pumped.
I know it's a special week
cool
around
time,
here.
so
I know that's exactly right. Well, hope you guys soak it up as that draws to a close and hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye guys.
Bye y'all.